Black Hebrew Israelite. And this is a name. They got different, also called Hebrew Israelites. They also called Black Hebrews. They also called Black Israelites. And a final name they're called African Hebrew Israelites. They go by different diversity of names. They are a new religious movement claiming that African Americans are descendants of the ancient Israelites. Black Hebrew Israelite combine elements to their teaching from a wide range of sources to varying degrees. And they like to use the Bible and the Old Testament because they like to show how in the Bible the Hebrew, the experiences that the Hebrew Israelite, biblical Hebrew experience are similar to what black people went through. That's what it hooked with a lot of. If you were just reading through the Bible, you didn't have understanding, you might say, no, black people did. They got treated, this happened to them too. But historically, they're wrong. Black Hebrew Israelites incorporate certain aspects of the religious belief and but historically, if you were just reading through the Bible, you didn't have understanding, you might say to what black people went through. That's what it hooked with a lot of. If you were just reading through the Bible, you didn't have understanding, you might say, no, black people did. They got treated, this happened to them too. But historically, they're wrong. Black Hebrew Israelites incorporate certain aspects of the religious belief and practices both of Christianity and Judaism. So they kind of want to mix up things a little bit. Though they have created their own interpretation of the Bible. And other influences include Freemasonry, see, when people get into Mason stuff, take all kind of ways, and New Thought, for example. Many chose to identify as Hebrew Israelite or black Hebrews rather than Jews in order to indicate their claimed historic connection. Simply means they actually believe they are the black people, they are the Jews of Genesis, of the Bible, of the Old Testament. they think, remind us black people. Hey, we could get puffed up by it. Yeah, that's good, man. We the Jews. We the chosen one. You see a pride in this. See a pride in it. Y'all see a pride coming through it. I'm a Jew. And by the way, the Jews, the true Jews of the Bible, even in the New Testament, they did become a very proud people. Actually looked down on Gentiles. God didn't want them to do that, but they did. They looked at the Gentiles as what? Dogs. Dogs. But that wasn't from God. Now, by way of introduction, look at your notes and turn over. Now, I want y'all to understand, there's nothing new under the sun. This false teaching is not a new false teaching. Isn't it somehow every false teaching on the name? People always think it tickle me. That's why I used to, when pastor over at Lithonia, in Lithonia, Georgia, used to always get up and talk about, to give y'all something new. I want y'all to understand. There's nothing new under the sun. Y'all understand that? Now, ministers and pastors can bring something to you in a way that it has not been brought. Y'all understand that? Now, ministers and pastors can bring something to you in a way that it has not been brought directly to you in that way, But there's nothing new under the sun. Don't let me just say, look, watch this right here. Y'all ain't seen this before. Watch this here, Dad. This ain't never nobody seen. Be careful, minister, start talking to you like that right there. This false teaching is not a new one. Them Hebrew Israelites, God already knew about y'all, the boys. That's right, Julia. God already knew about them. They knew God already knew about them, Priscilla. They not new. Look at Revelations, the verses 2:9 says, and this was to the church of Smyrna, by the way. And it's interesting that God addressed this beautiful thing here. God actually addressed this false teaching in two churches, Smyrna, and then to the church of the Philadelphia, which was the holy church, which was the church that had power. Now, the first address was to the church of Smyrna. That was the church of persecution. Church of persecution. And I'm not have time to go through the church ages or how each one, all the age went. But I want you to understand that was the church. So he said to that church of Smyrna, look what he said. I know thy works, verse 9, and tribulation and poverty. But thou art rich. Now the church of Smyrna was suffering poverty. By the way, this is going to be this. I'm going to use this verse when I deal with the prosperity gospel. Because look what God says about a tribulation and a poverty church. Look what God says about it. But thou art, y'all see that? Read it with me. But thou art what? Rich. Thou art rich. I like that. I like it. Thou art rich. Now the Smyrna church was the church that was perfect. They was running high, and they was lacking bread and water. They were poverty stricken. But Jesus said, "You are rich." If you don't learn that, don't hear nothing. I said today, think about that, y'all. You can be rich, not having nothing. Feel it. In America, we put so much attention on what you got. So much attention on it. And we miss. And the Laodicean church, which is the age we're in, that's the last church. Jesus said about them, you think y'all think y'all rich and you're poor. You spiritually you're wretched and blind. That's the age of the church today. Churches today, you got men like, and I ain't talking about Don, you got ministers like they got huge homes. They got big cars. Some of them even got airplanes. That's right, big jets and things. We're a church today that money-wise, many part of us, I was looking at, y'all go through, let's do something. Go through the homes of the leading ministers in the United States. I did. Go through their net worth. It'd be an interesting thing for you to look at it. Look at it. And then someone who ain't preaching right like that, George Miles, who is false teacher. Look at at what they got though. Look at their home, what they got. America as a whole, we have money. Believers have money. But we are poor when it comes to dedication, commitment. Spiritually, we below par. But they don't. But that's the Laodicean church. I know the blasphemy. Now look at him. A group even in the church of Smyrna, in the poverty, you had the spiritual risen up in a group. I know. The blasphemy of them which say they are Jews. There's a group walking around there talking about they're Jews. And look what the said to the angel at Smyrna here, Ham. He said, and are not. They lie. They lie. They are lying. And not only lying, look at their real state, but are of the sinner, the congregation of Satan. Not only they lying, they from there. And my Hebrew brothers, and I don't say, I hate to say this about them naturally, but I do because of loving God. Them boogers are from the devil. That's why they, all my night looking, Javon, they're handsome. Some of them strong. The devil is using them to mess up a lot of black people.